Hello everybody, it's Daddy Rick again. And we're back here regarding our Cooking 101. Okay. First and foremost, I just want to say again that I hope that everybody is safe. Because until now, we are hearing the growth, the high rise of the cases way back there in the Philippines. So, as I mentioned before, being a food safety manager, I will be sharing to you some techniques, especially the housewives or just like me, OFWs, who are doing things by themselves alone. So sometimes we are very much focused regarding of what we know. And as I said, it will be better that if we will have new knowledges regarding especially about the food that we are preparing and the food that we eat. So you can monitor this from the home, from the barracks, wherever you are. No? As I said, from home or at work, being an OFW, living alone, and everything. So at this time, I will be sharing to you. So before I explain regarding those things, I will be sharing to you how to prepare creamy macaroni soup. Okay, we call that sopas in Tagalog. And as I said before, just like my beef soup, it's again another version of sopas na bitin. Ayan. Now, everybody might laugh, but as I said, where I am right now, I'm in the middle of the desert, so the resources are quite very small. And with some cases now here also in Sudan regarding this virus, we cannot just travel back in the city, which is 400 kilometers away from our location. So here, I will show you the ingredients. Okay, so here we are. We have our chopped garlic and onions, the butter, the chopped chicken breast, carrots, our macaroni pasta, the elbow pasta, and I will be using this full cream sweetened milk now because we don't have the one that we are using same in the Philippines. Okay, and to add the taste is the chicken broth and the ground pepper. Okay. So that is what I have at this time. So that will be it, and we will be start cooking. So while I'm tackling regarding some techniques regarding food safety, join me while I prepare this dish that will be part of my lunch and until my dinner. Okay, so while we are heating up the pan, okay, I will be explaining something first. Guys, just try to remember when you are preparing all the ingredients, chopping everything. So make sure that you start with the vegetables, the spices, from garlic, the onions, other vegetables. Just like for this one, we have the carrots, and normally we have our cabbage, right? That we sliced thinly, just like making a coleslaw. Okay. Then naturally, preparing the creamy macaroni soup, we have the hot dogs. No? But I tried last time before, I found one, and when I tried to cook it with my macaroni soup, the taste is not the same as how it should be. Okay, so then that's the technique of preparation. You prepare the spices, then the vegetables before you go to the meat. Especially we put the chicken. Some people will say how it differs because we have this so-called cross-contamination. Okay. So if you prepare the chicken first, then you cut the hot dogs. Instead of from 1 to 10, you go from 10 to 1. So backwards, right? So sorry, I'll be putting the butter. It's preparing this dish is good with the butter always. Okay. Now it's hot. Then some people will say it will be cooked, no? The heat will kill the bacteria or the virus or whatever. Unfortunately, that's why we practice this food safety management system. It is because there are certain things that if you will not go thoroughly regarding the full understanding about what we are implementing, especially in the food and beverage field, no? You will be confused regarding the situation. Because, as I mentioned before, one of my cooking 101, that we have this hierarchy of cooking temperatures. So just like it's from 130, if we're talking about Fahrenheit, 135, 145, 155, and 165. Okay. So first you have to saute the garlic. Okay. Yeah. So what is that in the hierarchy regarding the temperature? So 135, 145, 155, and 165. Always remember, guys, that ready to eat foods, you have to keep it on the top. And like the fish or something, they will be cooked in the temperature of 135 degrees. Okay. 145, I mean. Then in 155 you have this the meat, the beef, the pork, okay. And on 165 is always about the poultry. Okay. So in such situation that you are arranging your fridge or your freezer, no? I advise that instead of buying those whole packs, no, and putting all together in your freezer, it will be fortunate if you have this upright freezer, no, with the shelves inside, so you can call this properly arrange your food stocks. Okay, and always remember that the chicken should be always in the lowest part of the freezer. So if you don't have, if you have this normal combination chiller freezer, which we usually have in our homes, okay, better to have those canisters. Then you count how many people you are at home, the actual amount of meat that you are cooking. If you are cooking different one for lunch and different one for dinner, or if you are cooking for the whole time, and that's what we call, we just reheat it and we serve it again for dinner. Okay. So that situation will help you regarding the progress of understanding the right way of food stock, the food stocking system. Okay. And when the onion is okay, you put the chicken. Then, as I said, you have to, if you think that you are cooking for a half kilo for that dish, depends on the numbers or depends on your budget. So everybody depends on the actual budget. Not everybody are born with a silver or golden spoon in our mouths, right? So we try to arrange that we are full, we are satisfied, but we have this proper budget regarding our meal preparation. So on that matter, the program will be arrange everything in the only thing that you will take out, no, for cooking. For example, the chicken, right? A half kilo of chicken chopped already, right? And put in the canister, then covered it. Then you have these pork chops, for example, beef bones or anything or whatever is that. No, then the fish, you just arrange it according to that hierarchy, as I mentioned earlier, regarding the canisters. Okay, so you have the fish and you have the meats. Then you have the poultry. Okay. That's why we call it poultry, because it's the same. If you like quail meats, or for example, you have that big packet, no, turkey, no, those are parts of the anything that flies, no, the bird. That's why we call it poultry. The poultry is not only about the chicken. So there are some ducks or anything. So they are all in the same level. With that, when you take it out, the best practice is you are preparing that food for tomorrow. So if you want to defrost it, you take out the canister from the freezer and you put it in your down, no, of the combination refrigerator on the chiller side, right? So to thaw it properly and will be ready for the next day, so the ice will not be out. The ice will no longer be there. So it will be easy for preparation, for cutting, for everything. So that should be a good practice when you are practicing that food safety, no? Because sometimes bacteria or anything that comes in our food, and especially when we have our small children at home, then suddenly we eat from outside and suddenly the child gets sick. We are confused on what happened actually, but we cannot say that they got the food poisoning or the foodborne illnesses or the sickness from the outside. And because if it will be properly done, there will be some traces regarding to search for this in the hospital regarding that foodborne illness. So we call that the FBI. Okay. So that's why I'm saying you have to practice that kind of system in the house for everybody, for your family, for yourself, even like me, that I am living alone at this time as an OFW. Okay. It is a good practice to understand regarding the food safety management. So it is not because that you feel that everything is still okay. Just like as I mentioned last time regarding my bistec Tagalog, right, or the adobo, no? Anything prepared at home should not be more than 7 days in your fridge, reheating and returning and reheating and returning. So you don't have to practice that way. So the leftovers should be the temperature should be down. If it will be good, if you have your food thermometer, okay, to check that one. Don't put the hot dish directly on your fridge because it will damage your fridge. So there is a certain cooling process. No? Now I'm just sharing to you regarding the stocking procedure, because if I will be explaining to you regarding those cooling process and everything, which is applicable regarding a commercial kitchen, you might be confused of what I am talking at, right? So it will be better to start those practice. Then, as I mentioned regarding the chopping system earlier, actually, you see, I only have one chopping board. In food safety management, there is a requirements regarding the 6 colored chopping board. No, you have the white, the blue, the brown, the red, the yellow, and the green. Okay. So if you want to practice that one, that will be good, no? So you can separate preparation. Yeah, it will be added on your spoiled dishes to wash, right? But when you are doing it for yourself, for your safety, for your family's safety, and you have that budget that you can find in the malls, no, but not right now, right? You don't have to go out regarding this matter. So, as I said, you want some references regarding this, you can search in Google regarding the 6 colored chopping boards. Some people really likes cooking, they have a good kitchen at home, but sometimes the practice is totally, unfortunately, is cross-contaminating when they are preparing everything because they don't have that kind of knowledge. What are the 6 colored chopping boards? No, the white one is good for pastries, breads. You're cutting that one. The yellow one is designed for a raw chicken. No? The blue one is designed for the raw fish. The green one is designed for vegetables. The red one is designed for raw meats. Okay, and the brown one is designed for when you are cutting cooked foods already. Okay. So when it's cooked, it already reaches the proper temperature as it's being prepared, as I said, in the commercial area. No? Everything should be complete. They cannot minimize the budget for that, but with like in the Philippines or in other countries, they have this unfortunate situation regarding those small stalls, food trucks, or just like with us, no, those small burger house or something. That's what I even mentioned regarding the with my prevention is better than cure blog, that they are wearing the same gloves. No, they grab your money, they put the money there, they give your change, and etc. and etc. So they think that their hands is safe because there's the gloves, but they forgot that all the bacteria and viruses and all the parasites are in the gloves. Because it's still your hand, no? You are just protecting the inner part, but the outer part is still your hand that contaminating everything. So that's the logic regarding that matter. So I forgot that I have this fish sauce. No, it's good with the fish sauce because it enhances the taste of the food. So I just have to and finish sauteing the chicken. Okay. So I have to prepare sauteing the chicken to enhance the taste. So put some ground peppers. Okay. So we will be sauteing all the ingredients together. Then later on we will prepare the boiling of the pasta. So I just took this time of explaining these basic things that will be usable at home for your own safety, for your children's safety, for your loved one's safety, and even your visitor safety when you are preparing food. Okay. So some people will say, we cannot do that because we don't have this, because we don't have that. That's why I'm giving the alternative, right? Just like the chopping board, as I mentioned when I started, prepare it accordingly. No? The spices, the vegetables, before you're going to the meat, right? You can wash it if you feel that it's already soiled. Wash it, then you can start cutting the meat and preparing it. Then after preparation, as I said, clean as you go. Wash everything before you start cooking, and while you are cooking, you can wash the things that you are using. So not everything will be organized and not a total mess. No? So now we will include the carrots for the saute. Okay. So there's as we always say, like in any languages, no, it's not only in the Philippines that we are saying that if gusto may paraan, if ayaw may dahilan, no? Because even in other countries they're using the same, that if you want you can find ways, but if you don't, you have a lot of excuses. No? You create excuses because you don't want to. It is not because that you cannot do, because you don't want to do, right? When you make excuses, it is a manner of trying to prevent the situation and doing the right thing. You know? So it's up to you. It's not up to me, because in my home we have this chiller, and I bought this upright freezer so we can separate properly our food stocks, because my wife is alone there with my 2 kids. So you cannot always go run and run and run. No? That is more expensive because you have to go back to the supermarket, you buy or to the local market and etc. So it's more expensive than you have that enough stocks. No? And actually, some people is always saying that it is good when the for fish, I will tell you it's okay. But for if I will go to the supermarket instead of buying that fresh chicken no, in the area. Actually, it's no longer fresh. No, it was chilled. Then they're chopping it, so you will have this. Then suddenly, after the day was done and it's not complete, they have to return it inside, put it in the walk-in freezer, so it will be frozen. Okay. But all those frozen meats that you will find in the frozen area, chicken, the beef, or something, it was blast frozen. So blast freezing is totally locking down the situation of not of controlling the bacteria of any types of meat. With that situation, it is more safer than you are buying that. Oh, I want the fresh chicken. Oh, I want the fresh pork, or I want the fresh beef. That's why every day I go to the market, etc., etc., etc. And you will see not all local markets are that clean. Okay, that's why sometimes we prefer to go in the supermarket, right? Because it's more convenient. You are pushing your cart, you are arranging everything, you are in the air conditioned area, no? There are some controls regarding flies and everything, but still they can enter those areas because of mismanagement regarding their back door where the people are coming and going. Okay. So that's the thing that I'm only saying, that I'm only explaining. The frozen one is much better because it's blast frozen. When it passed to that process, no, in the commissary where they are preparing everything, in a glance, boom, it's frozen. So it locks down those bacteria not to grow. Okay. So that's why we are very strict regarding when we ordered frozen, it has to be frozen. When we order the chill, because of quick preparation, it has to be chilled. And because of the fish, actually it's even the freshness of the fish is preserved, okay, when it was blast frozen. The only thing that you have to be aware when you are buying these things is you have to look at inside the pack, okay, of any kind of meat. If you find that ice, like an ice shapes, no, inside the plastic, just look for another one that you will not find that ice crystals inside, because that means it is fresh, and frozen again. Okay, so being thawed and being frozen is no longer safe. In our place in the Philippines, when I go to, excuse me, I'll just get some water to heat up. Okay, so now we will, before I continue regarding that matter, I will be the process for sauteing the ingredients now, from the spices to the chicken to the carrots. It's already done, so I had to set it aside. Now I will be boiling the water for the pasta. Okay, so the best way when you're doing this is to put an oil with the water. So the pasta will not be, you can see if it is enough. So I said, my tongue is in my fingers, so I don't measure much. Then you just have to add salt, so it will not be, with this level of water that is almost 3/4 of this pan, this pot, it will not be that salty. And you will say that I put the fish sauce in the preparation. So if you have that knowledge regarding preparing things and you know how to measure it by your eyes, you don't need to 1 tablespoon of, 1 spoonful of, no, no. When you see these cooking instructions or ingredients, because it was made just like for 1 kilo chicken, for example. So that's why it was prepared that way. Okay. So going back to that topic regarding that, before I stop, I just want to finish that one, so I don't want you to feel bored. Okay. Of listening to me regarding this food safety management that you have to practice at home. Okay, so on that situation, as I mentioned, you will find all those things like when you're buying like us. I can see that in our local market, no, in Batangas, right? They have this toad, no, nuggets or hot dogs or chicken, no, a line there, no, in the local market. We don't buy from that because when it, as I said earlier, if it is not finished, no, it is not been purchased, they just have to return it back to the freezer. Then tomorrow again they will bring it outside again for the display, and again the process is frozen, fresh, frozen, fresh, frozen toad, frozen toad, frozen toad. So with that situation, I just want you to be aware that the bacteria, you cannot kill the bacteria. Actually, we don't kill the bacteria. No, we just make them sleep. That's why we control temperatures. We control from heating or cooling or freezing such level of temperature for them to sleep until we prepare everything, until we cook. So we have this level of period of time, no, from preparation to cooking to serving to eating, and that's it, right? There is this stages. Okay, so for that, then suddenly you will see that your child got diarrhea or something. It is because of the food that you are buying from the market. So unfortunately, many of us are not so aware regarding these things. So I've shared these things a lot with my friends before when they are asking me, because that is my field. So we share knowledge, we share experiences. I have an engineer friend, no? She's telling me things regarding these things, even other than the things that I learned from my dad regarding a do-it-yourself situation at home, right? Some doctor friends, basic things regarding medication or something, when is the time that you have to go to the doctor, etc., etc., etc. So when you know how to share knowledge, people will share knowledge unto you. So there's always that return. That's why always the relationship is always a two-way. So those are the simple techniques that you have to remember. The frozen products are better than those fresh products that you are buying from the local markets. If it is newly butchered chicken or pig to pork, cow to beef, right? Freshly butchered, and you will be preparing it on the same day for your meal. I have nothing against that one. It's okay. But if you buy that one, then you will be keeping it in the freezer. Your freezer's temperature is not capable of freezing that meat in a glance, because you see, I like it fresh. So you buy the fresh, then you keep it in the freezer to be frozen. Then you will use it after how many days? So why don't you buy the frozen one from the supermarket automatically? Because it is also fresh and it goes on the process of blast freezing. Then it was kept in the walk-in freezers with the right temperature of negative 20 degrees. Okay, to keep that freezing point. Then it was delivered with a freezer truck, and it was kept in the supermarket's walk-in freezer again, and it was displayed in the freezer outside the supermarket. So the process is there. Now, the only thing, that's why I said sometimes you will find this one because of negligence from the people who is carrying that. But I don't want to mention some big names. You already know some big names regarding these food processing plants, right? We are all aware regarding that. So they are checking everything like this. But sometimes there are such situations that happens, no? That like the driver, suddenly the freezer shuts down. There's a sudden situation outside while on the road, or this or that, and they don't report it. Okay, so they are transporting everything, but the freezer is not working. So when it arrives in that area, it's already towed. Okay, some part of it you cannot tow it totally 100% with such hours. Then the person accepting that is not aware regarding this procedure, so he will accept and they will put it, and it will be inside the walking freezer, and it will reach again the proper temperature, and that's the time that you will see those ice flakes inside that plastic. Okay, so I hope that you learned something from this simple food safety management tutorial that I'm sharing to you while I'm preparing my creamy macaroni soup. In Tagalog, sopas na bitin. Okay. That's the only thing that I have in my hands to prepare this. This is one of my favorite dish. Okay. And fortunately for other areas that you have those complete, you know that you have to chop some hot dogs. I said the cabbage with it, so it will enhance the taste, right? But as I mentioned, as an OFW, or now with the situation that we are having back home in the Philippines, that you are having that fear inside you of going outside, even it's a market day, that it's allowed to go in the market. You just want to protect yourself, so you still have some stocks, and you just don't want to go out, and everything is incomplete. That's why I said cooking is also being it's about creativity, right? The taste is still there, no? The essence is still there. You will still enjoy, but you don't enjoy it 100% because it is incomplete. But there's nothing wrong without if it is an incomplete ingredients, but at this moment of time, just like me, I'm in the middle of the desert, and just like our families are worldwide, that there's too much lockdowns that's happening to control this virus, is to survive. We will have that privilege next soon, when everything goes back to normal, no? So you can eat, you can have, just like that person that I read in Facebook regarding this quarantine that will happen in the Philippines. Oh, how about our breakfast in Makati on Saturdays? Hello? Shut up, right? Shut up. If you don't want to be safe, if you're challenging this virus, go directly to the hospital where the patients are, right? So, but at this moment, the only thing that we are always advising with many people, always remember, wearing that masks is better than wearing the ventilation masks. Okay, washing your hands will not hurt you instead of being washed away. I hope you understand what I'm saying, right? And it's better to stay inside your house than being in that ash box. Remember, all those people who died regarding this unfortunate situation is automatically being cremated. So when you're cremated, fortunately, if your ash will be returned to the family for them to dispose of. It's on the ash box, right? And again, it will be better to praying is much better than complaining at this period of time. So stay safe, stay healthy, right? If we will follow this situation, instead of trying to force everything, we will just go on the situation that maybe tomorrow, the next day, we are more than the level of the United States. So this is not a race, guys. This is not a race. Okay? Nobody wants to be number one. Everybody is thinking to be out of that list. But unfortunately, what's happening now, especially back in the Philippines, it's jumping very quick. And some people are just is not being hard-headed, but they have this criminal minds that I feel sick. I will go out to spread this one, so if I will die, everybody will die, right? But as I said, if God is cleansing, if God is cleaning, there was a picture in Facebook showing that from Makati that you can see the cross or something, no? A landmark from Bataan, no? Because the smoke is gone. No? Earth is cleaning. God is cleaning. Even this virus was created by man. Without God's guidance, it will not happen. God makes things in different mysterious ways, no? On how He cleanses, no? Catastrophic natural disasters, earthquakes, tsunamis, right? You die even you're at home just drinking water or sleeping. It's every day people dies and every day people comes. Newborn comes and your time is up, everybody go. That's why you see there are certain numbers of people after those thousands of cases that they recovered because still it is not their time. So sad to say regarding those unfortunate people who already gone, it is their time. It's so hard to lose a loved one, but we have to understand that everybody comes and everybody goes. Nobody will stay here for a lifetime. We only have that exact timeline that God gives us regarding this borrowed life of us. Okay. So the only thing is we don't know. As I mentioned, we don't know. We don't know if it is our time or not yet. So even those people roving around trying to spread this virus, yeah, you can transmit it, but you might die and I may not, because it is your time and it's not mine. Still, the logic will go back to that situation. So again, because it's so hard to see, especially for children, that we will not be able to take care of them when we bring them to the hospital. If they will be positive for this virus, you will not have the chance to take care of your child, or to take care of your old mom, or to take care of your loved one. And the last thing, you will see a lot of videos circulating in YouTube, circulating in Facebook, that they are already saying that last goodbyes, and they cannot even have the chance to hug that loved one who's saying goodbye. Okay, guys. So as we said, as I mentioned, stay home. Stay safe. The best way that we are doing this now, if everybody will follow, will control everything. But as long as we are trying to say that we are not afraid of the virus because we are afraid of dying in hunger. No, but I can say that nobody dies in hunger for a few days. Just drink a lot of water. Okay, if we are that unfortunate situation that we don't have that food stocks in our side, nobody quickly die for not eating for a few days. That's normal. You cannot say that you don't have that water. Many people from the history survives those earthquakes that the person under the rubbles are there for a month, more than, and they are still alive. So sometimes, please don't be very how do you say this word regarding these people? Don't be inconsiderate about things. Being inconsiderate about yourself is being inconsiderate about others, right? Don't put everybody's safety just because of your mindset. Okay, you can survive. if this level that's given to us regarding this quarantine and everybody follows, this virus is already gone. Especially that the temperature back in the Philippines is getting hotter and hotter, and as they mentioned, the virus will not survive the hot temperature. So guys, please stay home, stay safe. Okay, I'll just show to you guys again later when everything is ready, when everything is boiling. So I don't want you to stay with me while waiting for this pot to boil. Okay, I just continue the topic regarding that food safety, and I hope that you learn something from that part. Okay, I just took that advantage of explaining while I'm doing this blog. It's not all about cooking, it's also about sharing regarding knowledge of food safety and proper preparation inside your kitchen. So and here I will just wait for this one and I'll come back for the next part. Okay, now so our hot. It's boiling. It's ready. So the thing is, you have to add your pasta. I used the other part, some of it last time. So because that will be, this pot will not be enough. Okay. So basically, you just have to remember to mix, no? Because it will be going with each other. So that's why you put the oil and the salt, no, to make it still separated. So you have to mix it time to time, and you have to, normally when you are before I continue with that, some practice with us, no? There are situations that you will see they are doing like this, and when they take out the cover, the moist in here, they will return it back inside. That is wrong. That moist is carrying all the bacteria of the food that you're cooking, rice, dishes, or anything. So the best thing is to take it out and spill it off. Don't return it inside of what you are cooking. Okay. That's a bad idea. Okay, so you just have to continuously mixing and mixing. And normally, as I'm saying, you usually cook the pasta at around 10 minutes. No? But because of the continuous boiling, then you mix the ingredients that you set aside. Okay. It will be quickly getting that fat, no? The pasta will be that big and suddenly it will break, so it will not get just a paste or something. Yeah, just like the stomach, no? A bloated stomach, right? So you just have to cook it halfway, right? Around 5 minutes, then let it go and let it go, and you add and you add and you add. So the pasta will be cooked according to the proper size, because once you reheat this one, it will be, it's almost like the same as my finger, right? So that is the technique of preparing the pasta before you mix the ingredients and before you put the milk, and to finalize things, and your creamy macaroni soup is done. Okay, going back to the topic that I mentioned. No, I had this when I work in a, why am I going around? So I'm trying to find the best way not to be covered by the sun ray. No. So just a quick for that, no, regarding that mannerism, that moist coming from the cover of your pot. Okay, you see, just like for rice cookers, when you take out that cover, it will not be directed back to the rice, but on the side. That's why you have that reservoir, no, of moist. No? When you lift it up, it's not going directly to the rice, because there's this situation regarding that. It was analyzed on that situation. A quick thing that I remember when I go in one of the mountains back in the Philippines. the locals are telling me that the rice has been spoiled again because of their belief. No? I don't want to turn down that belief because that is their belief. I don't want to be rude, no, explaining to them. So I told them, show me, because they told me that the spirit of their loved ones eat again using their hands. That's why the food was spoiled, you know, the next day, or especially the rice. So when I was monitoring them, I saw them doing that thing and taking that. I told them that is wrong. So they have this metal pot, no, not a rice cooker, and they're doing it like that. So I told them that is the wrong way. So I showed them how, and first things first is to take out that spasm of the metal pot. Then to have the water, let it boil, put some salt, no, and let it dry, no, and let it until the water is gone, no, and you will see the salt there, and leave it there for a while until it was cold before you wash it, and that's the time that you will prepare the rice to take out that spasm of the spoilage. It comes from the spoilage. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm mixing the what you call this, the pasta. Okay. So, once it was mixed with the oil, it will no longer be how you say magdikit-dikit, no, in English. Whatever. It will not be merging with each other. Okay. Sorry. So going back to that part, then they follow that system. I show it to them, and they do it properly. Then the next day, I ask them, especially at night, the rice that we prepared at night, and the next morning, which sometimes usually we Filipinos we use that bahaw, the leftover rice for fried rice, right? And the next day I asked them, so what happened with the rice? So it was not spoiled, no? Then again, just do it, no? Again, I tell them, just do the practice. Then continuously after a week, that's the time I explain to them that it is not about the spirit of their loved ones, the spirit of their dead loved ones, but it is because of the bacteria that they are returning to the rice that make it spoiled. Okay. So you are throwing a lot of rice instead of you can eat it still just because of the wrong practice. Okay. So it is just part of our food safety techniques. Okay, the food safety management that I'm trying to share to you. So at this time, I will just be waiting this, and after this, I will be adding. When, as I said, you boil it around 5 minutes. Then when you see the pasta is almost cooked halfway, we will add the ingredients together, right? And I will just show it to you after this. Okay, so I think it is enough. So how you will check your pasta if it is already halfway, so you can have that feelings, no, it is soft already. Okay, so you can see the size is still small, right? See, it is still small, and if you have a bite in it, it is halfway. We have this word in Tagalog, maligat. No, because as I said, the boiling process is continuous. So now, if you will cook the pasta to its peak, to the proper level, it will be like this big size of your finger later on. So later on it will rust and it will be like a paste. So now we will be mixing our ingredients. So it's all there. Some water so it will be softened, and you have to mix it, right? And as you can see, I will show it to you. You can see good because of the butter and the carrots, that color. that combines when you put the milk, right? So I will be putting the milk. This is one of your favorite, right? So I will be putting the milk. Okay, so add it to this one. So you will just see how white is the soup, no? So you don't have to make it. I don't have to use the entire 1 liter. So okay, so you can see how good it is, right? Have to cover and return it on the fridge. And remember, when you use milks like this, you follow only the expiration date when it's not open. Okay, but when you opened it, this one will be good only for 7 days. So I need to mark this one that I opened this one today, March 30, then 31, and around until the 6th of April. Then after that, if I forgot to use it, I need to throw it out. So for safety. Okay, so you can see. All right, you see how creamy it looks, right? So I have a very small pot, so when the pasta will be popping up more, it will not be like this anymore. Okay, so we're almost done. So I will just add some more pepper to have the taste, right? Then you can set aside with your fish sauce, right? When you're eating together. Always remember, if you have a high palate regarding saltiness or sweetness or sour or whatever, when you are cooking, you don't have to put your taste according to the dish that you're cooking. It has to be in a balanced level. So as what we said, we have our different sausawan, no? The side dish, the soy dishes, patis, toyo, so the soy sauce, the fish sauce, vinegar with onions and garlic and etc. Many ketchups, ever. So it will be upon to the person if he wants to add more salt or pepper or add more fish sauce or soy sauce or whatever, according to their own palate, according to their own taste bud, that level. Because if you will do it and the person that eats the dish is not that high regarding especially salty, they will not like what you're cooking. So it has to be balanced naturally. So that will be it. I am done showing you how to cook the the creamy macaroni soup, or how you call it in Tagalog, sopas na bitin. No, because I don't have the hot dog and I don't have the cabbage. Okay. So again, thank you very much for watching. This is Daddy Rick. As I'm always saying, life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. I hope that you enjoyed listening regarding those food safety management techniques that I'm sharing with you, that you can use on your home, in your place, if you're like an OFW like me, to share it with your friends regarding safety. No, the first person, the only person, nobody will take care of us but us. Okay, the first person who will be responsible about us is ourselves. Okay, we cannot give that responsibility to anybody. The doctors will be responsible to us if we are already in the hospital. But on our daily lives, the person responsible for our safety is us. Okay, so still regarding the situation, regarding this unfortunate pandemic that we're experiencing, I said earlier, stay home, stay safe. And praying is better than complaining. Okay guys, this is Daddy Rick again. And if you find this topic worth watching, don't forget to click like, leave your comments, subscribe, and hit the bell so you will not miss anything from me. And don't forget to share so we can spread the love, the knowledge, and the care that we want to give to our friends, to our loved ones, to everybody, right? We don't have to keep that knowledge just because we don't want anybody to know what we know. No, sharing is better because you will not live by yourself alone. Okay, thank you very much again, guys. To my family, mommy, I love you so much. To my 2 kids, DX and 3H, I love you guys. Again, stay home, stay safe. Always remember, God is above us to protect us. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless us.